So organizations who aren't prepared for the e-invoice mandates are subject to significant fines and penalties. Also, a component, as we're in the world of VAT reclaim, a key element of not complying and conforming with the e-invoice mandates is lost VAT reclaim. So that's a huge threat to businesses. If you look at the work that we've been doing over the past 20 years with our large corporate customers, we're recovering tens of millions, hundreds of millions every year. That all gets lost if a company doesn't comply with the e-invoice mandate. Not only do you lose your VAT, but then you're also subject to penalties. Essentially what the e-invoice mandates are all about, just to give a little bit of a clarification, because obviously I'm speaking to a travel audience and it's very much a tax topic. So in Europe, there's a VAT gap, and that VAT gap is the European governments thinking that the amount of VAT that's being charged doesn't actually get paid to them. And we all know what governments are like when they don't get their tax. It makes them very, very cranky. So they've introduced VIDA, VAT in a Digital Age, and a component of VIDA is for all invoices by 2032, I think it is, to be e-invoices. And that's going to be relevant for business to business at the moment. Ultimately, will probably seep into business consumer, but that's affecting our clients. So all hotels will, in the European countries, start issuing e-invoices. What is an e-invoice? An e-invoice is a digital invoice of code that's passed between the supplier and the customer. And it goes to the government as well. So it's all happening in real time. So essentially, you need an e-invoice platform. You then need to communicate that invoice in a kind of a network, similar to your mobile cell phone network. And then it gets picked up on the other side by another e-invoice platform, translated and pushed into the ERP. So critical that organizations solve their e-invoice platform issue ASAP. We think it's such a serious threat to our VAT reclaim clients that we've implemented our own e-invoice solution to ensure that all of our customers are compliant. And if you look at the expense management system providers, I had a conversation with our longtime partner SAP Concur today. They are now have an API specifically for e-invoices. So we can now start communicating with that via that API to ensure that we're getting all of these transactions in real time. So implementing e-invoicing is complex and it's very intimidating for organizations, 100%. The key component to, I suppose, ensure that you're not creating stress in your life is to find an organization like Fintua who will provide a turnkey solution. So ultimately, people don't know what they don't know. You need an expert who knows all the pitfalls, knows exactly how to comply with all of the mandates in all the given countries, knows exactly how to analyze your data in your ERP or your invoice management system, know exactly your profile, who your hotels are, who your suppliers are, and ensure then that the platform we implement is, as I said, turnkey, mapped to your data, has all the mandatory fields, and then can integrate as well with your ERP, with your invoice management tool, ensuring that everything, all these digital invoices, e-invoices are communicated accurately and on time so that you're compliant, but also that we can get the VAT back. So my advice, start early, start with that data analysis piece, get an organization that's literally going to plug and play for you. We do all the heavy lifting essentially. So of course, e-invoicing is a compliance exercise. It's, as I mentioned earlier, it's about the VAT gap being closed. It's about the governments getting their money. But organizations need to embrace it, not just see it as a compliance exercise, see it as an opportunity to streamline the business, to get better quality invoicing from your suppliers. So the major challenge that we have in the world of VAT reclaim is what we call non-compliant invoices. So hotel spend, for example, is eligible for VAT recovery right throughout the European Union. UK, Switzerland, Norway, for example. Europe is our hotbed location. We have a major issue with, we'll say, traditional invoices not being in the company name, not having a VAT breakdown, essentially non-compliant documents. With e-invoicing, that will go away because all the mandatory information will be available. It will be sent in real time. It will get to us much more quickly. And if there is a component of that e-invoice that's wrong for the hotel spend, we can quickly push it back to the hotel in real time, let them know their error, have them correct it, and resend the invoice, and we pick it up on our platform and we audit it. So today, what we would see is about 40-50% of all the hotel invoices we get are non-compliant. Okay, so half of all the VAT that's eligible for recovery gets lost. With the invoicing, we're going to close that gap significantly. Okay, what is your favorite part of going to a GBTA event? This is fun. I was literally just talking about this. So my favorite part about coming to GBTA, and I think this is number 10 or 12 now at this point, is just reconnecting with partners who are now friends. I don't regard, I know it's the Irish in me, but I don't regard business as being very serious. I think the way business works really well is if you build bonds and relationships with your clients and partners, and then you build friendships, and that builds great businesses. So reconnecting with all of my friends at this event is my favorite part.